Alright guys, today's video is gonna be a little different. This isn't a traditional review because I just reviewed Steel Vengeance last year, and I already touched on a lot of the same points that I would have made in this video, but this is just gonna be more of a experience recap with Steel Vengeance this time around, I guess. That's probably the best way to explain it, because yes, some things were similar, but oh my god, Steel Vengeance is definitely a lot better than I initially thought it was, and I'll get into why today. So of course, back in 2021, I took my first rides on Steel Vengeance, and it became my number one. I had it over rides like Phoenix, Maverick, El Toro, some really elite coasters at the time, and when I went back in 2024, I was definitely disappointed. In fact, I had it below all three of those coasters. I had it like around the Phoenix lightning rod level, like borderline top 10, and I was just really confused because I remembered really liking it more last time, but in 2024, it just didn't hit the same. It was floater in some spots, it definitely wasn't as strong of ejector as I remembered, and it just felt slower. So I was really confused, and obviously if you watched my list from last year, my top 50 coasters, you'll see that I didn't even put it in my top 10. I think maybe given those rides I should have put it in my top 10, but it was around that level where I just didn't see it was fit to put it any higher than spot number 10, I think. It was just kind of disappointing, but I was wondering if that experience was the fluke or if the fluke was the good experience in 2021. And of course I went with my most recent experience for the list because, well, that's my most recent experience. I don't have any other reason there. But I went back just this past Wednesday and Thursday, and I got 3 rides on Wednesday and 3 on Thursday. And I will say the line for this thing actually seems pretty short compared to the other major coasters at Cedar Point. Maverick always seems to have a longer line than this thing. Top Thrill 2 is always a way bigger line. Siren's Curse is just a huge line. And it's just usually a reliable elite coaster to go to for a 40-minute wait max, but fortunately I waited under a half hour for all my rides on this just because I went at the right times of day. I know this got up to like a 45-minute wait at some point on both Wednesday and Thursday, so definitely look out for that, but I'd say if you head here like around 10:45, you could get a few rides in with a 15-minute wait. It's really good. If you head to Top Thrill 2 first thing and then head to Steel Vengeance right after, that's probably the best move. So first of all, I want to mention that this ride just works in this area. I think Frontier Town might be the most underrated themed area in any park. It's probably a top 5 themed area in any park for me, like over most Disney and Universal areas. I just love this area. I don't know why. It just has such a vibe, and more importantly, the rides fit the theme so well. I couldn't care less that Steel Vengeance really doesn't have any theming, because it just works with Frontier Town. It is the exact ride I would put in a Wild West themed area. It looks straight out of the Wild West. It's amazing, and it feels like it's out of the Wild West just because, you know, you're intertwining with all the wood, and it's just an amazing experience. And they play the Frontier Town music throughout here, and just really sets the mood. So I definitely like that about Steel Vengeance. This is a really nice looking ride. The operations were really good. I know 2 people from the crew here personally, and yeah, you can definitely tell that they care about Steel Vengeance and everyone else cares about Steel Vengeance. This is one of the best crews at Cedar Point, which is saying a lot because they have a lot of good crews. But let's finally talk about my first ride of the day, which was Back Row Left Side. This ride shocked me. The first drop was about on par with last year, a top 10 first drop really, but not as good as Iron Gwazi's. I think Iron Gwazi's definitely has a bit more kick to it, but that doesn't mean this is a bad drop. It's still elite, but the big difference came with the speed hill. Oh my god, I actually got good ejector on this speed hill this year. I don't know why I got floater on this last year. It makes no sense how I got floater last year and ejector this year. Like, maybe it's a mentality thing. Maybe I just wasn't as hyped for it last year. I have no clue how it happened, but it was definitely a good ejector this year. And then the top hat and the outer bank were just as good, if not better than last year. They were a bit stronger, and they even felt more sustained. Those are two of the best elements in the world. In fact, I'd say they're on par with El Toro's Camelbacks. The rest of the first half felt like it had a little more bite to it, but not too much more bite than in 2024. But it's phenomenal. It's amazing. You get really good laterals on that second inversion. You get more ejector, and it's just great. The double up's one of the best parts of any coaster. You get such good ejector on that thing. And then you hit the mid-course, and I think this is the big difference. This is what makes or breaks Steel Vengeance. In 2021, it trimmed, but not too hard. In 2024, it trimmed super hard. And this year, it didn't trim very hard at all. So we coasted right through that. I actually got ejector on the drop off of it this year. I still don't think it's the best part of the ride, like some people say, but it was ejector this year instead of floater. And then the double up following definitely gave ejector. That was just floater last year. Same with the next hill. That was really good. The turn is still kind of a dead spot, but at least it gave some positive Gs. And it's over pretty quick, so it doesn't really matter too much. The next inversion is pretty whippy and floaty. At the same time, it's great. The next two hills both give really good ejector, with the second one giving a lateral kink too. So that's one of the best moments out there. You've got a wave turn following that. That's good ejector. I don't know why I thought that was just weak flow ejector last year. That was kind of dumb. You've got a really good inversion following that. You've got a turn, which I think is pretty whippy. It was a bit snappier than last year. And then the biggest difference definitely comes with the finale. I thought this was just weak ejector to floater last year. Whereas this year, it was ridiculous. I think this finale is better than Lightning Rod's finale. I'll say it. I think it's a bit stronger than Lightning Rod's finale. The airtime is so strong. It's definitely not as strong as Air Force One or Magnum's ending, but it's up there with all the other endings after that, like Wildcat's Revenge or Iron Gwazi. And that's just in terms of strength. I actually prefer this ending to Iron Gwazi and Wildcat's Revenge's ending now, because there's so many hills, there's 6 airtime moments here, and the flow between them is just so perfect when you have good pacing. Again, I think, one, the trims hit a lot harder in 2024, so this was weaker. And I don't know, just something about the rest of the ride, like even the first half, felt slower in 2024. It was a bit colder in 2024, but not that much colder. It's weird. But either way, this ending is definitely a top 10 part of any coaster for me now. It is elite. And then you hit the brakes. And that was my first ride. My second and third ride came in row 10 on the right side. And these were the third to last train of the night and the last train of the night. Because if you get in right before closing, you can sometimes get another lap on this. It depends on who's operating it, but some people actually send you twice at the end of the night. So I definitely wanted this to be the last ride of the night because of that. And I'm so glad I got a full night ride on this, because this ride at night is insane. It takes it to a whole nother level. It is amazing flying throughout the structure at night. You can't see anything but the dense wood, and even that's hard to see. It's just such a good night ride. I mean, you have to try it at night. If you thought it was amazing at day, you'll think it's even more amazing at night. And they turned the trims all the way off. Finally, I got a 100% trimless ride. 2 of them, actually. And yeah, those rides are insane. There's definitely ejector in the second half. It's strong ejector. The laterals are nuts. And the second half alone is an elite coaster. When they turn all the trims off, it is just so good. The next day, I got a ride in row 1, left side, in row 2, right side, and in the back row, left side. The back row, left side one was very similar to the one I got the other day, but I will say, I think this is a front row ride, ever so slightly. I mean, you can't go wrong in any row, but I do think some of the airtime moments hit even stronger in the front, particularly in the second half. I'd say the double up also hits a bit stronger in the front. That element is just such strong ejector. Like, that's actually Wildcat's Revenge level ejector in the front on that element, as well as the finale and the hill with the little lateral kink in it. Those moments are just so strong in the front. I mean, again, it's Wildcat's Revenge middle of the ride level ejector. It is super strong in the front. And I think specifically my row 1 ride was amazing. I think row 2 was almost as good. But I don't know, just something about the front row on this ride hit. Just seeing yourself almost hit the structure and everything is an amazing visual. So as you can tell, I really like Steel Vengeance now. In fact, it's a top 5 coaster for me, maybe even as high as 2, I don't know yet. This ride going from borderline top 10 for me to borderline top 3 is definitely one of, if not the biggest redemption arc for any coaster I've experienced. And I do think it's a top 10 coaster in the world now. So those are my new thoughts on Steel Vengeance. Let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.